back to yesterday's chaotic scenes in the Dáil. Dáil Éireann will sit this morning after being adjourned. It was suspended twice and then fully adjourned yesterday without the election of the Taoiseach. In our naivety, we sat here yesterday morning, Shane. We said, Taoiseach Micheál Martin will be elected at around 11 o'clock this morning. And, what did you make of it?
Well, let's have a listen to what went on yesterday.
Question I will now put. Deputies who are in favour of
point of order.
Say talk.
What about the legal advice? What about the legal advice, Ceann Comhairle? When will we get the legal advice, Ceann Comhairle?
Not carried. Point of order.
Advice, Ceann Comhairle.
Point of order.
Ceann Comhairle, when will we get the legal advice? When will we get the legal advice, Ceann Comhairle?
To do that. Keep the cockroach central.
An absolute omni-shambles in the Dáil yesterday, Shane. What did you make of it?
I thought it was a national embarrassment, and as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of a plague on all your houses, because I'm not letting the government off the hook on this. The arrangement with independents, where they're half in and half out, is ludicrous and indefensible. I don't care what precedent you set, and it should not have been allowed. And Micheál Martin and Simon Harris should not have allowed this to happen. That being said, I think the response to the opposition was entirely disproportionate, and dare I say it, Trumpian in tone, because
I think you easily dare say it.
To not allow the election of a Taoiseach, which is what happened yesterday, is a really dangerous game that they are playing. I think it brings politics into disrepute in the way Trump does. I think it's anger politics. I think it's performative politics. And can I make one other point, Ciara? I thought the treatment of the Ceann Comhairle yesterday was absolutely disgraceful. And again, like, there was kind of selective leaking on the government side about, if she'd handled this, if she'd taken out the meter stick, nonsense. And I thought the way, like, in no other workplace in Ireland would you be allowed scream and shout and roar,
harangue
a colleague in the way that happened yesterday. They showed no respect for their colleague. They showed no respect for the office of Ceann Comhairle, who had been elected by the Dáil a couple of years ago. I am not the Ceann Comhairle's biggest fan. I've no problem saying that. But I thought she was treated appallingly yesterday.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said. Now, I think there probably is a legal technical loophole here, which is allowing this technical group to form the way it is. I agree with you that the spirit of it is incorrect.
It's nonsense. It should never have happened.
But I can accept that this has happened because of a technical loophole that maybe needs to be closed. That's fine. But you're fully right on we have no Taoiseach now, and we have this unedifying chaos in the Dáil yesterday.
We disagreed and I started screaming
I know.
you.
No, it wouldn't happen. Shane, it wouldn't happen. And I know that because you have more respect. But this is a matter of respect. And I think it's very interesting. We have our first female Ceann Comhairle. It is her first day in the job. And we have an opposition, let us remind ourselves, run by women. Mary Lou MacDonald, Ivana Bacik, Holly Cairns. The main parties of the opposition are all led by women. And the female Ceann Comhairle on her first day was excoriated. Is that what we want for women in politics? People said, Sean O'Friel, maybe it wouldn't have happened under him. I don't think he would have been treated in that way. I don't think people would have spoken to Sean O'Friel that way. I think that happened to Verona Murphy because she was a woman. And to come from an opposition led by women, it's an embarrassment, you're quite right. But was there misogyny dripping from it? Oh, yes, there was. The left did not cover themselves in glory yesterday at all. The lack of respect for the institutions of Dáil Éireann yesterday was embarrassing.
Now, they would say the government showed no respect with this arrangement where you're half in and half out.
And I appreciate that, and I'm not saying I think the spirit of that is incorrect, although I suspect that technically they are correct about the precedents. But we'll be speaking to Ivana Bacik in a moment about that, who's very aware of all the aspects of law, I have no doubt. But overall, I thought this is because she's a woman and this is disgusting. And this is something that the women of the opposition parties should have been ashamed of themselves about.
Yeah, well, look, let us know what you make of it all. It was certainly a pretty awful day for Irish politics, and I think we're going down a pretty dangerous road. I don't think anyone came out of it well, but let us know what you think.